Okay, summing up time for the UMA25S. If you've stuck with it this far, you're probably asking the question, why on earth is this lunatic dedicating so much time to reviewing such a cheap product? Because including this summing up, you're looking at 8 episodes to review a product that costs 70 to 80 British pounds. Well, I'll tell you the answer to that question. I actually consider this to be an extremely important product on the market, even though it's so cheap, and I'll tell you why. This is a keyboard, controller, an audio in-out device all in one. And in that product category there are very few choices on the market. Very, very few, just a handful of choices. And the UMA25S is by a massive margin the cheapest such product you can buy. Okay? And therefore I think it's a very important product, because there are always beginners coming onto web forums saying, you know, I want to get into computer music, and their budget is always very low. Well, you plug this keyboard into a Mac or PC with a sequencer on it and add a pair of monitors, and you've got everything you need to begin composing and writing electronic music. It's that simple for 70, 80 quid, you know. So that to me makes this a very important product, okay? And should that beginner start off with this, and then a year down the line they say, okay, look, I'm going to upgrade and buy a dedicated audio in-out device. Fair enough, do that. But that doesn't make this product redundant. It's not like if you upgrade to a dedicated audio in-out device, you know, with 1 or 2 mic preamps or something, that this then becomes junk that you have to sell on eBay. No. You upgrade to a dedicated audio in-out device and this still retains a place in your setup as your keyboard and controller, so you can't lose, you don't lose any money. Now on top of that, so you know, it's perfect for the beginner. For the more experienced user, it offers an incredibly feature-rich keyboard controller for such a small footprint. And on the road, with the included carrying bag and the included headset, and the fact it can be battery powered if required, it's a no-brainer for a laptop writing setup for on the road, you know. And to be honest, on the road the headset is perfectly good enough for monitoring while you write. You know, you can be on your laptop in your hotel room doing a Skype call, and then switch to your sequencer and get a few ideas down, and should you in the middle of writing something come up with a brilliant vocal idea, you've got the little headset on, and the headphones are good enough for writing monitoring, you know. You can just like use the headset mic to sing in that vocal idea onto an audio track, and you haven't got to faff around setting up a mic. You know, instant inspiration strikes, get it recorded as an audio idea, and then back at base you can do it properly. You know, but at least you've got the idea saved. You know. So for a laptop on the road writing setup, again, it's just there's nothing that touches it for the money. Nothing. Okay. Now, there's a couple of things I didn't mention in the review that need to be covered for the more experienced user, really, but there was one very important thing I forgot to mention, and that is that any controller, when it's being edited, can be put into learn mode, so any controller can learn an incoming MIDI command, and it has MIDI learn. Okay. The other thing to say is that it has this thing called array, okay, which only works for this row of buttons or this row of pots. And in array mode, you simply assign the first controller to whatever controller you want and give it a channel and all the other values, right? And then you hit array and it assigns that controller identically to every pot in that array. But it gives each one an incrementing MIDI channel. So if this is MIDI channel 1, then this becomes channel 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But all of them have the same controller. And it's the same for the buttons. If the row of buttons or pots are in array mode, you can then swap the array channel, meaning if this is channel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, swapping that array's channel will make this channel 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, yeah? Okay. Other things it can do is it can do sysx receive and send, so it'll do bulk dumps with sysx, or you can send individual controllers to be dumped and received via sysx, or dump the whole presets and reload the presets and everything. You can invert any controller by simply using the 2 range controls. If you set the low range to 127 and the high range to 0, you've in effect inverted any controller you're editing. The keyboard itself can have different velocity curves imposed on it. You can either manually assign a fixed velocity to the key so that they are always sending out that velocity when hit, or you can choose from 3 different curves: soft, medium or hard. Okay. And the only other thing to mention is When I was showing you in the previous video how to edit the keys, you can make them send CC, or you can change the MIDI note number they're sending out. I omitted to mention that you can edit multiple keys at the same time. You simply hold down edit, and rather than pressing one key and then releasing edit, you hold down edit and keep pressing keys, and every key you press will be added to that edit. So you can edit keys that are separate, they don't have to be one after the other, or you can edit the entire, every semitone up to a certain point, or whatever you like. Okay, so that's handy. And on that subject again, when I was in the process of showing you how to edit keys, I was editing one of the keys and moved this pot, and the display said RES, and I said I didn't know what it meant because I'd lost the reference sheet. Well, I've since checked, and that's actually in the manual, and RES means reset, which is good. And what it is basically, if you're editing keys and you want to just reset them back to being note sending keys and get them on the right note number, you simply, in edit mode, turn this pot until it says RES, and then it resets that key, or combination of multiple keys if you're editing more than once. It resets them back to being notes, like sending notes, and it sets them to the right note number for their position on the keyboard. So that's handy. You've got automatic note resetting if you happen to be fiddling around and editing the keys themselves. Apart from that, the only thing to say is that I didn't mention that these pots along the top, the main ones that you'll be using for controlling, they've got the same rubberized coating as the pots on the back for controlling the volume of the in and outs, and it really is superb to the touch. This beautiful soft silky rubber coating, very easy to grip, and just to say, the action of these pots along here is absolutely superb for the money. Smooth as silk, but with just enough resistance to make them feel really expensive. I mean, they really are incredibly good to the feel for such a cheap product. They really are. So that's everything. Oh, and don't forget, more experienced users, you've got a MIDI out socket on the back, and that can be changed to either be a MIDI out or a MIDI through socket. So that means, of course, you can use this unit with your sequencer to sequence external MIDI kit, and you can play that external MIDI kit and control that external MIDI kit as well. So that's everything it does. Okay, and really, if you're thinking of buying this thing, whether you're a beginner or a more experienced user, I mean, the price is just a no-brainer. The only thing to consider is, can you get on with half-action keys? You need to check that out. And the only other thing to mention is, of course, again, this whole business of that you can't mute the line outputs when you're recording if you're using monitors. Now, if you're going to get into a lot of mic recording and you like to play back what you've just done on speakers, so you need to always be muting and unmuting your speakers, you're going to have to invest in some sort of passive volume controller, whether it's an actual volume controller or a little mixer tablet or something, for quickly turning your monitors up and down, you know. But there it is. It's 70 or 80 quid, you know, 70 to 80 quid for this product. So I think that's I don't understand why Behringer didn't put a mute switch on the line output, even at the back, but there it is, you know. So in summing this up, it's just, you know, there's nothing on the market that comes close. So whether you're a beginner looking for something to get you off the ground on a super cheap budget, or you're a more experienced user looking for a low footprint, richly featured controller keyboard, definitely give this a shot. And you know, so I, in summing this up, will say that I'm going to give this a mark of 9 out of 10. And I'm only giving it 9 out of 10 for one reason, and that is that Behringer forgot to put a mute button to mute the line outs. Now, if they'd done that, I mean, preferably on the front here somewhere, but even on the back, I would have given this product 1000 out of 10. It's that good value for the money, it really is. So there it is, the UMA25S. It's been a long haul, but I hope it's been worthwhile for you, and I'll see you for the next one.